Okay, friendly versus a friend. Two very different things. And I've said it before in this video series, our kids do not need to be friends with everyone. And I know that that makes most pre-K and preschool teachers like cringe, and kindergarten teachers cringe a little bit. We're gonna be friends with everybody. And it's a great concept, especially when they're little, but that is not real life. So let me give you a case in point. Think about the people in your life that you come across, right? Who are you drawn to? Who do you spend time with? When I was teaching at, I think it was my second school that I went to, there was a teacher named Alexis, and she, I think might have been a great educator, but she was so just depressed about the job, right? We all have those moments, but it was all the time. She was always negative. Well, that's not gonna work. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, can you do, constant, right? And our jobs are hard enough without that constant going around. And she was in my grade. And so we had grade level meetings and we were spending time together outside of school because we kind of all just spent time with our grade levels. And I had to like draw the line. I cannot spend time with somebody who really hates teaching, who kind of hates kids, I think maybe, hated every part of all of it, was just gonna throw down any great idea that somebody threw out. She shot it down. Here's why it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. That's not gonna work. We have to do it this way. We're only gonna do it this way because we've done it that way every single time before. I didn't want to be around that anymore. If we're the sum of the 5 people, I needed to find new people so that I could enjoy my time on my campus a little bit more. We need to find those colleagues that we kind of jive with, right? That share the same values or share the same styles of teaching as us. And this is true for all of life, but I'm just using the example for my campus. I didn't really want to be friends with her. I didn't want to shoot around and talk and like, hey, how was, like, I didn't want that part of it. So there are certain deal breakers when we're adults, right? You know, different mindsets, different values, different interests, things that just kind of set you off like, you know what, this is not going to work out. Would it not pretty much be awful if your principal came to you and said, I'm sorry, you have to be friends with her. You have to spend every lunch, every recess. If you go off campus for lunch, you have to take her with you. If you meet up after school with some other friends, you have to take her with you because you have to be friends with everyone. What would that do to my mental health? What would that do to my psyche? What would that do to me? If she was mean to me and I'm forced to be friends with her, what is that doing to me? It is dangerous. It is unhealthy. It is not what friendships are designed for. However, I am still going to be friendly to her. So I still say, hi, how are ya? The pleasantries, right? I wave to her, hey, I hope your weekend was great. But I'm not like, hey, what'd you do? What are you doing this weekend? I don't need to be friends with her. I don't need to dive in, but I'm like, hey, how's it going? Good morning. Friendly. So these are the things that we're going to teach our students. You need to be friendly to everyone. We say hi, we wave. Even if they don't say hi back, that's okay. There might be a reason they don't say hi back. My eldest has low vision, and I tell her friends all the time, and she's had to tell her friends, if she doesn't say hi to you first, it's because she didn't see you. So there might always be a reason why somebody doesn't say hi back. Maybe they're feeling shy. Maybe they didn't hear you. Maybe they didn't see you. But that doesn't matter. We're going to be friendly. We're going to say hi. We're going to wave. And we are friendly to everyone. So it doesn't have to be only to the people that will then be friends with us or only the people that can give us something. So I say hi to the custodian. I say hi to the principal. I say hi to the kindergartners that I don't know. I say hi to the 5th graders that have been my students before, right? We just are friendly. Hey, how's it going? A smile. It doesn't have to be this big, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Just a smile. Hi, good morning, right? Looking up and engaging with people. But we don't need to be friends. We don't need to force friendships on our students. We don't need to say, no, you guys will be friends. It doesn't work in real life. It actually sets them up for really dangerous situations if that child is bullying them or is unkind to them or gives them just an uneasy vibe, right? If they just don't feel like they can be themselves with that other person, we don't want to force that friendship. That's not what we're doing here. So yes, everybody gets to play the group game of kickball. If you're playing a game, can I play? Yeah, come and play, right? So yeah, everybody gets to play. That's that including. And we're going to talk about how to teach kids to be includers. And you don't need to be friends with somebody to include them. That's where the friendly part comes in. So in the next video, we're going to talk about what are those true good friends so you know who to pour into. Right? So you know which relationships you build up, but we are not going to force friendships. We can guide friendships. We can say, oh, you guys would have a lot in common, or you guys, I think, would really kind of hit it off. We can encourage it. We can suggest it. Hey, go spend some time, or we can partner them up on purpose. Like, you guys have a lot in common. You should talk about something. And we can help them decide what a good true friend is, but we can't force it. Because let me tell you, that Alexis gal, I did not want to invite her to my mango margarita paydays that we always used to go to with my good group of friends that I did find. Every payday, we'd go get mango margaritas together and we'd laugh and joke and talk, and it was a great way to end our month and our week. I didn't want her there because she was mean and kind of nasty and hated everything, and we were like celebrating that the week was done and enjoying each other's company. So it would have been awful if we had been forced to be friends. But oftentimes that's what we do with our students. Unintentionally, we force them to be friends, and we don't need to do that anymore. All right, in the next video, I'm gonna share with you how to help your students decide what is a good, true friend so they can start to decide for themselves who they should be spending time with, and maybe who should they like kind of just be friendly with, but kind of walk away from emotionally, so that they're not getting dumped on and they're not spending time with people who make them feel bad about themselves. All right, I'll see you in there.